Guys, what up? My name is Felix Biarhanga, aka TheNinjaFelix. You might have seen me bashing your favorite rapper somewhere online or tweeting some random facts about Ugandan hip hop, or basically just tweeting Ugandan hip hop in general. And I'm the founder of the Tribe UG, co-founder. Boom! Where that libs, man? The sound effects. I'm hosting with dog guys. Anyway, founder of the Tribe UG. The Tribe UG is a publication that has been pushing Ugandan hip hop to the forefront, and we started back in 2012. And from the blog, we've managed to evolve into a website that has been nominated 2 times at the Uganda Social Media Awards.
Have you won before?
Have you won? Real niggas don't win. Real niggas don't win. It's the street cred that matters. From the blog, we started the UG Hip Hop Awards in 2016, and we managed to do 4 editions. 4. The last edition being in 2020. Before Corona hit the whole world.
BC, 2020 BC.
Yeah. And from the awards, we've managed to do some magazines.
Wait, BC is before Corona.
Yeah, we've managed to do some magazines, and we put some Ugandan UG hip hop rappers on magazines because New Vision is never going to put them on. Telemoid is never going to put them on. No media publications are never going to put them on apart from us, and we managed to do it successfully, and we are still doing it. We've managed also to cultivate some African continental collaborations with our Ugandan rappers. We'll be sharing with them here soon. And apart from that, we've managed to evolve into a full-on agency that caters for creatives. So you can call us creative industrialists. We are the people who take your creativity and turn them into money for you. We have also managed to license Ugandan hip-hop content to the rest of Africa and the rest of the world. And basically that means we have monetized Ugandan hip-hop content and managed to put some monies into Ugandan rappers' pockets. And then also we started management on the side again through our agency, which is Skyline Media and Management, which is the parent company of the Tribe. We've distributed content, we've managed artists, we've done PR for artists. That means getting them on the right platforms, both TV, radio, news publications. And in brief, our whole agenda has been adding value to Ugandan hip-hop, and we believe we've managed to do it perfectly. This is something we're still trying to do till date. And today we are launching a new property called the Tribe UG Podcast. And we believe from this podcast, people might learn on how to develop their skill set, on how to develop their brands, on how to take their music beyond rapping and their brands beyond rapping, so that they can grow and so that Ugandan hip hop can be at the forefront and we can manage to take over this continent, Africa. Earlier, before you had some clowns joking. Wow. Joking, but these are people we are I should say proudly associated with, people whom we feel that they have the passion, they have the knowledge to speak about Ugandan hip hop, and we are proud to have them on our podcast, and they are going to be regular features on this podcast. One of them is missing. Shout out to Liz, who is supposed to be our intellectual on this podcast. So we look forward to having you. We look forward to having you. We look forward to having you on episode 2. And then also I want to shout out to Great Point Media, the guys who have made sure it's possible for us to do this podcast.
Yep.
They're the guys who have made sure you can hear our voices, see, the vibes.
Yeah, the guys to blame.
And shout out to LNF, aka Good and Never Fails. The guy who has made sure that you can be able to see us visually, see the emotions, the passion behind the voices, and bring the podcast to life. So I would love to introduce these clowns. The guy next to me is also called
Jesus Christ, come on, man.
Wow.
AKA Ian.
That's from like
Ian.
7 years ago.
Ian, before I mess up the whole thing, do you want to tell people what you do and who you are?
So I'm basically I'm a creative as well. I'm a writer, I'm a author, filmmaker, but I'm more passionate about cars and music, usually hip hop in to be specific. And for a day job I'm an IT guy, so yeah. But also the think he said that was like 6-7 years ago.
When you say filmmaker, what are some of the films you've done that people might have seen or should check out?
You haven't seen them yet. We're still filming, but the projects are ongoing. But starting April.
You can say something that's not at the end of public. It's like saying you're expecting, but you're calling yourself a grandfather.
Yeah, but
your grandkids are not yet out there.
yeah, but if the kid is there, like the moment the stomach is, you're a granddad.
I was like, the guy on my extreme left is called The Count.
No. Mark over here, me as me, just a fan. I'm a fan of a fan. I'm a fan of the music, and so I'm here to say
you might have seen.
Behave.
If you've read the reviews on the Tribute, you might have seen By The Count.
Yeah.
Face bearing
Noise
count.
maker.
And
if you've watched some videos,
he's also a ghostwriter. So in case you need something to be ghostwritten, but though you have to go through us to book him. That means you have to come with the monies. When your monies are straight, if your monies are not straight, just
crooked monies.
Man. We don't need you.
But Mark is not a fair ghostwriter.
Why?
I have begged him to help some guy's career, but he has German.
Like Paulo's career.
Yo.
Anyway. Okay, apart from my Paulo, who else have you begged him to help out?
There's a friend of his. I'll not say who he is.
Before you say anything, I want to say this, guys. If you are listening to this podcast or watching it, I want to just let you know, like, we don't need anything from this industry. So if we seem to bash you or if we seem to come after
Disclaimer
you,
alert.
I just want you to let you know it comes from the position of passion for the industry, seeing you become a better rapper or seeing you becoming a better brand. So whatever we say up here, just not take it in a wrong way. Just know it comes from a position of love because we love this industry and want to be seated at the table of the world where we discuss hip-hop, Ugandan hip-hop with the people from the rest of Africa, with people from the rest of the
At the end of the day, Felix, people understand that, if you're real, they'll recognize the real. And anyone would want you to be real with them. I can be a yes man and tell you all your stuff is nice, or I could be honest and tell you, man, that kawan...
It's okay to say it's trash. So, with that being said, Ian, who else should mark your lyrically?
Okay, it's not being a ghostwriter. I've read some of his stuff and his stuff is really good. And there's a friend of his, I don't know how close they are.
Oh, that's a name. Mark has a lot of friends. Like his friend. I'm his friend. That guy is his friend. That guy used to rap.
So is this
co-founder of the train. He's here with us by the way today.
So hold up. So for you decided anyone associated with this has to have a career where they didn't exactly become successful.
No, it just turns out like these things you can't make them up. They just happen but
crazy. Mark has
I think I'm the only person who has never tried rapping. But you're involved with this podcast.
You're a dancer, right?
No. I can't dance for shit. I can't dance for shit. But guess who was a dancer?
He has done some part-time DJing.
Guess who was a dancer?
Part-time DJing,
Guess who was a dancer? The Count, man.
Oh, the Count.
Go out there and watch clear cut videos.
You have refused to give me the specific video where he was a dancer.
No,
DJ has done that.
That's for you to find out.
You've DJ it.
No, it's more like press pause, play, mute, and when you mute, you shout the chorus, and then get yo, got a cookies, yo, tofu, and then you continue.
But are you saying some kind of there's a chain here? You failed as a DJ. Wow. I failed as a rapper. You failed as a dancer. But since we can't do it, let's talk about
those who can't do teach.
Yeah.
So here we are about to teach the people.
I failed as a DJ because for me it was VLC. DJ on VLC.
Who DJs on VLC?
Me.
Jesus Christ.
Or Windows Media Player.
Oh God.
Windows Media Player wouldn't play.
Does it even still work? When was the last time anyone used Windows Media Player?
No, the guy was using VLC so he could add that extra volume. Beyond
100.
Anyway, let's get back to the podcast. So first of all, before we jump to today's topic of discussion, I want to ask you two guys, what do you think of the current Ugandan hip hop state, and what's the music, the culture, everything in general? Well, what do you think? I'll start with you, Mark.
Well, Ian was ready to go, but
Talk to us.
No,
What
it's
do you
okay. You
think?
can go with the tall guy.
oh wow. No, but at the end of the day, there are certain things we have to recognize. The industry within this country needs a big push. Like it's a genre where it's not going to happen on its own. It's not enough for you to be good. It needs you to push. It needs you to be pushed. It needs so many levels of effort. And at the end of the day, where the industry is, we have a lot of talent, but you might know them, Felix, you might know them, Ian, but not everyone does. Not everyone has access. How many times am I somewhere and I play a song and everyone is like, wait,
Who's that?
Who's that?
Is he really?
How come I don't hear that kind of music? Why am I not finding that on the radio? These songs are out there. These artists are trying, maybe sometimes. I'll not get into where it fails or where the system fails. That I'm sure at a certain point we shall get into that. But at the end of the day, there's a gap. And maybe with this, we can be able to fill and let people know, what's missing. And maybe guys can, at the end of it all, get this good work that is being done to everyone else.
True. There's something you said. Why don't I hear this on radio? When we started out, no one was covering hip hop the way we're covering it, or no one was talking about it the way they're supposed to talk about it. Apart when it says Anavi was dropped a song, was dropped a song. Yeah, there are other brilliant guys out there. So we started this tribe thing also to have a conversation about Ugandan hip hop. And before then, it was a conversation on our website. Today, it's a conversation on a podcast. So no one knows how far we can take it. Only God and the future. But this is something we are passionate about, and we want to see it go far. Ian, what up?
Well,
UG hip-hop, the state of UG hip-hop.
UG hip-hop, I feel like the industry has suffered because there's no unity. It comes right from the top to bottom. The studios, the people in management, the guys doing events, the artists, the guys writing, the media, even us, the fans, we fail to play our part. So you find that the industry remains relevant with guys like the OGs, like Navio and GNL, maybe the guys who have created a name from history, because it's the name carrying forward. And when you hear a Navio song, you recognize it because it's Navio. But you find that beyond that, there is lack of unity. You don't support the new guys. You're not trying to listen to the new guys, and the new guys are not putting in the work because they're a bit discouraged by the media attention and the fans. And for us, if it's Ugandan, it's not good enough. So that the general feeling for us is there is no unity. But if we get to a platform where we understand, as the creatives, the musicians, the studios, you need to play your part, the fans need to play their part, the media needs to play their part, I feel like we would be in a better place, because the songs of how come they don't play this on radio but the rest of us hear it and it's good. So who's not pushing it, who's not doing what?
You've said something about unity, and personally I've never agreed with that point.
Really?
Bruh, I've always told guys, like, look, you come from a home, you have family members whom you are tied to by blood, but those people always backstab you. If people who are tied to you by blood are backstabbing you, what do you expect a random guy who has been in the industry for 5 years and is frustrated with the industry, what do you expect him to do? Now here's the thing, I'm not saying that's the norm, but I'm saying this unity is it's the foundation. Actually, it's the foundation of this music industry. Guys putting on plastic smiles and pretending that everything is okay. First wait, pretending everything is okay. But here's the thing. That's a discussion for another day. I want us to first put it under and we move forward. So, out of the things you shared, both of you, I haven't had any positive thing. What up? Like, there's no positive.
What do you mean? We've both said there's a lot of good music out there and a lot of talented guys.
Apart from good music,
and talent, what more do you need?
Ash, man.
Honestly, if the music is good and the skill is there, I mean,
every episode,
no, but think about it.
I get the negative side. Like you like the tribe has been in this for 10 years. Like there's no positive thing we've done. Like okay, I know.
When you ask about the industry, it comes off with the people that feed the industry. So we run to the artists.
I know it might seem like props in the tribe on a tribe podcast, but we look like, but still, like, it's fun. No, but like we have no.
The tribe has done work, but you see, you must admit, to some point, your work has been frustrated by the culture we have here as fans, as media, as everything. Because you give the artist a platform, but does the audience consume that the art that you?
And in the same way as because I mentioned at the start, like I'm a fan of the thing. So at the end of the day, one of the things that I benefited from my first interactions with the tribe was simply knowing that, listen, I want some good UG hip hop music. Let me go to this site that I know has exactly what I need. I get that, I listen to it, I apply it, system. But beyond that, there's more that needs to be done at the end of the day. I'll give an example that's fairly recent, not in the history of what the tribe has done, but more in the yesterday of the whole story. You wrote an article, you released a playlist recently. As usual, one of the things that the tribe has done is curating that. I got you, calm down. It's okay. No, but at the end of the day, the tribe curates playlists for Tidal, African hip hop playlists, which we've listened to and we've all appreciated. Me on my own end, Ian on his, because he's commented on it several times. But at the end of the day, when this recent playlist was released, some gentleman all the way in Zambia.
Shout out to Holster.
No, but man's like, the playlist is released and the whole, like, there's a newspaper article, the articles left and right about, oh my God, this thing with Tribe UG and Skyline Media.
It was a big deal.
Yeah, you see, at the end of the day, when the parties collaborate, and this is the unity that I guess Ian was referring to, when you do your part as Skyline Media struck the tribe and you release this playlist and you put these artists on, then the next level has to do their part. At the end of the day, no one owes you a contribution to your success. But at the end of the day, we feed each other. We work together to achieve these common goals. When you push my product, it pushes yours in return. We work together to achieve this common goal. And that might be the missing factor. But like we said, that's a whole conversation with many lines of thought that we need to get into on a different day.
Yeah, and do you have something to add?
Yeah, and also you see, to that point, it's we'll get into it later, but you see, for me the biggest disappointment has got to be the fans, because you see, in a way, we, even when our artists give us music, we don't criticize constructively. For us here, when we just criticize, it's to bring you down, break you down.
It's more fun that way.
It's more fun that way when we are crushing your spirit and your ego.
On stage.
And they're like, and so you feel like, I mean, if you release a trash song and fans are like, the beat was nice, but guy, these lyrics, like, really? You wasted the beat. But guys would be like, guy, just give up. You can't write. Go home. Go and farm. Like, yo.
Oh, wow. You can't. First, is that what niggas told you when you were
Yo. I had to focus on my books. It was.
You were doing medicine then, eh?
Oh, wow. So you mean that the IT you talked about doesn't need concentration? But at the end of the day, let me first take us away from where we think the industry is into some other small things. Our Ugandan artists, there's so much more to them than that song you want them to do for you, or that collaboration. There's people like Tucker. Tucker HD plays in the Smack League. He plays for his team. They try to bring it as someone whose team is against his. I have to make noise and say.
So you're saying Tucker doesn't play for shit?
They try, but they brings it. It's always a good game. It's always a dope thing to watch. It's always you get
Instead
there.
Of kicking the ball is there rapping.
I know. No, but aside from the, like, it's dope. It's dope to see these artists in another light.
Yeah.
Where you're used to, all I want is that dope line.
There's that song he did
dope
for.
To see him.
There's a song he did sometime, even in the video. There's at that Smack League. What song is that?
What song is that?
It's called Levels or something.
Oh, Leagues and Levels.
Leagues and Levels.
No, but like it's dope to see these guys out of that element that we directly associate them with, and it's dope to know a thing or two about them.
Yeah.
But also when you think about it, I feel like eventually, I'm not saying it will happen to Tucker, but I feel like eventually the frustration from how the industry is not progressive is what makes these guys focus on this
It's
other
not focus, like
on this other hustle. You realize football is bringing you more money. You're like,
it's not a
let me hang the
hustle.
mic and do football.
It's dope. It's an event. It's sports.
Yeah, but I'm saying most of these guys have like proper day jobs. Not like you can feed off this industry.
That is true.
Yeah.
By the way, we are honored. We are being recorded by someone from the Guild of Producers in Uganda. Shout out to Josh. Josh, by the way, what's your position in the Guild of Producers?
Sound authors, and yeah, I'm the secretary.
Yeah, guys, doesn't get that. Is the secret of sound?
Authors and engineers.
Sound authors and engineers. If in case you are a Ugandan hip hop producer and you want to be part of that whole arrangement, just hit up Josh. He's always at Masters Music. That's in somewhere in Tinder. So guys, I personally I like what you shared, and I believe as the podcast continues, we are going to jump into each of those details.
Yeah, but also Taka, I know you're probably better at rap than football. Don't. It was just an example.
You think Manchester can sign Taka right now?
Yeah, calm down.
I've not watched him play, but I know Rock Nation would sign him.
But you know, Marcus Sodas calm down. That means even FC Police can sign him.
Hey. But Mark said it's because Mark supports the other team that's usually against Takas.
Exactly, correct. That's what I said.
Anyway, that's a plug for Hennessy. They can sponsor us. So the whole discussion for today is back in 2014. That's pretty much 2 years after the tribe had started. We wrote this article that detailed the top new school rappers of 2014. And I happen to share that article with you guys. For anyone who's listening, that the link to that article will be in the description. Just tap on it and read through so that you know what we're talking about. And in that article, we wrote about the rappers who had done much better work in 2014 and whom we had hopes for in the years to come. So we are going to revisit that article, and the whole thing is that I want us to talk about them back then in 2014 and right now in 2021. Gosh, man, we are stuck.
2020 was rough. Like it's still on your mind.
But like I said, we are going to share that article in the description profile there. But I want us to dive into that article, and I want us to start from honored mentions, and then we can work our way up.
Why? Where are we?
You want us to start from up?
No, can I? If we start from there, I'm just going to get in complaining.
That's also allowed.
Yeah, because I read.
Let's vote on this. Mark, where do you think we should start?
No, yeah, starting from the bottom now. No, but yeah.
It's not even.
You are a great fan and you don't want to start from the bottom.
It's not even fun because on your list from the bottom you put one of the best.
We are going to get into that.
time.
We are going to get
Let's
into
do
that. But we need to get into this. Sometimes it's not good to start from the bottom. Certain situations. So don't allow us start from the bottom. So allow us. It's 2 out of 3. Shout outs to Les is not around. He would have been the even now.
Wait, in what situations is it not?
Hey, let's look. That's a different podcast.
And yeah, it's also coming on the TVG network. But yeah, so from the honored mentions, we have Oppo, we have Flex the Pepper, we have Aggie, we have the Sphinx, we have Benny Black, we have Suspect, we have Malex. So Malex is the last guy. So let's start from Malex.
Wait.
You want to complain?
Let's start from Alex. And since you are going to complain and you have these burning issues and these burning things you have to address, let's start with you.
I feel like I should let him save that anger for the one that's itching him, because I know it's there, it's burning. But I'll start with Malex. You see, one thing about Mal is he's one of those people, the first time you hear him, there's something fresh or something. I remember back then, around the time of this article, I hadn't read it at the time, but around that very time, I knew that, hey, there's a certain gentleman somewhere that's doing some interesting something. And when you listen to it, you know immediately, like, yeah, he's got something. And so I do understand why he's in these mentions and why we thought, there was more to come from him that would be lit. Later, I listened to his podcast. Sorry, to his podcasts are confusing me right now. To his mixtape.
Not everyone.
And that Colors situation was correct. 5 songs, I think. very dope, very nice. Unfortunately, there's not much that has happened since, and that is where he left us itching a bit. There's the one with Suspect, who's also on this very list. So I guess that, you know, they gave us some work, you know, but the problem is few and far between, man. We thought these are the guys that are going to come and take us on a proper journey, but you know, it's here and it's there and it's not. Last year there was the Myths album, and again Mal features on the song Amen, and what a hook! Like, yo, correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, for what it's worth, he's on the list, and yes, he's given us some good work since. But
you would hope to get more from him right now.
Way more. I do understand that at the end of the day, the life happens, and you know, whatever might be going on
But if you come out and you say I'm a rapper,
bring it.
Does anyone know what he's up to now?
So if you're bring it.
No, because
all we know
is
if you call Alex for, let's say, like a cipher, he will show up with his laptop bag. So that means he's a corporate dude. Like, some Excel spreadsheets.
It goes back to the frustration.
Then the other thing, if I'm saying something about Alex, is like, man, he gives me Chance the Rapper vibes.
He's really dope.
Yeah.
You know what? For what it's worth,
yeah,
he's really dope. That's what I meant.
And
really dope.
And also he has this whole gospel thing going on. But me personally, I don't think he should brand himself as a gospel rapper. I just think he should brand himself as a rapper.
You don't need a compass to find me. The boy is lit. The boy is lit.
Because he'd push it further.
Alex also acts. That's the other thing we forgot about. He has starred in some short films, and I believe if there was an opportunity for him to star in like a movie, a blockbuster, shouts to Marvel. They should allow our boy Alex. But before we get to Benny Black, and I believe
you really want to hold off the Benny, eh?
Yeah. Like,
hold up.
I want you to speak something about Suspect, because from Suspect we can jump into Benny Black.
Suspect, of course. I
think Benny Black says this guy MM. All the way from
No, it's not that. It's just
anyway,
Suspect. I remember Suspect and Suspect CV and Benny were in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And those guys were. It was almost.
I think Code was also in Goodfellas.
Was Code there? Code was not there.
But anyway,
was there as Rico?
Was Rico part of Goodfellas?
How do you think Benny got to number Rico situation?
Oh, remember that sex scheming jam?
Yeah.
Ooh, Benny bodied everybody. Okay.
But still Suspect,
Suspect. Suspect. When Suspect, Benny, and So Severe were in Goodfellas, I remember I listened to a lot of their old underground music when they were still up and coming, and Suspect was. What do you mean still?
Hey, no, go on.
Suspect always stood out because for him it always seemed like he was. I don't want to say he had no filter per se, but he was quite brave. And you see when you see Goodfellas, the group they formed, all of them kind of have that persona. Like even So Severe. What was that song So Severe did with Jetty and Rayonga? We back? Yeah, we back.
Yeah, we back.
And Rayonga is an OG. Rayonga is good.
Fire.
But So Severe came swinging. No games. So the whole thing that...
You know, Rayonga before... So what you're saying, Rayonga before Mbonye was fire.
So whose fault is it now? Mbonye or Rayonga?
If that's what you're saying.
So the focus is currently Suspect. So
we're talking about Mbonye now. So what, are you saying Mbonye killed Rayonga?
I will say that. But you can get into it later. For now, just Mbonye people out there. But
So,
for now,
yeah.
let's
So Suspect, for me, listening to his underground stuff. But I think the thing is, when these artists try to go mainstream and commercial, there is a way the industry makes them. The platform is not favorable for them to still be those hardcore guys doing all of that stuff. They try to go a little bit soft because the Suspect from those.
You like them hard.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Moving on to let me jump into this situation. No, the thing about Sus is, like, a lot of our musicians in the early phases when you first hear them, you're like, man, he's younger. Maybe later he'll grow into a. One thing about Sus is he always sounded like like the screws were tightened early, like everything is in order at an earlier age. And then of course, like I mentioned, the projects with Mal X, they gave us that, but again, unfortunately for us and for the industry as a whole, we didn't get much more. So all the rest is just speculation. You start saying maybe if, but that maybe is not enough.
So we've discussed Malex, we've discussed Suspect. They did a joint project and it happened to win Album of the Year. I think this is 2017.
At the Tribe UG and MTN Hip Hop Awards.
My question to you guys would be like, I don't know if you guys can reflect all the way back in comparison to the albums that were nominated alongside that album, but my question to you guys would be like, what was your general opinion about that particular project?
What other albums?
Why that
were,
category?
Yeah.
Because
you see,
there's been 4 editions.
This is why we have to fire our producer of this podcast. He didn't do research. research. But anyway, regardless of the albums that are nominated alongside, I just want to know your general opinion about that particular album on its own merit, not in comparison to any other project.
Yeah, you see,
also shout out to Simon Ellie who produced that whole project.
You see,
I was told he's doing an EP with The Myth. Oh yeah, so that's some information I've leaked, but yeah, I hope I'm forgiven by the parties involved.
Yeah, but you see, for those Suspect and Mal, no doubt those guys have talent. They're skilled guys, and honestly, for the time, they really put in the work.
Yeah.
And having such skilled guys on a project together is always a blessing. The way we keep begging J. Cole and Kendrick to come and do an album, because when you're with someone that good, you have to bring it. You have to. You cannot come to work with 40%. You have to come to work with 100% because this guy is coming with 100%. But it still goes back to our circles here. We probably
can I ruin this for you? You see the analysis you've given. I agree with it. It's incredible. But flipping the same analysis, your favorite rappers, in this case, Taka and Benny Black.
Yeah.
They should have given us a project as good as that. Or even.
Wait, you're complaining about Open Time?
But now, I'll complain about Open Time in another episode. I agree with what you say. Mark, do you have anything to say about that project?
I mean, I've mentioned it 3 times. I feel like right now I'm going to be like a cracked CD.
We shall put a link to that project in the description below. So now, this is what Ian has been waiting for. Benny Black, aka Blizzard. Now it goes by Blizzard.
First of all, why
I hope I'm pronouncing it in the right way. You, the chairman, fan club of Blizzard.
I think it's Blizzard. I mean, there are 2 X's there. So.
All the way in states doing dope stuff.
Yeah, but first of all, the issue I have with that list is where he's placed.
Okay, now I'm the one who wrote the list, so can you allow me to respond to you?
Can we fight after this?
If you're going to fight after this, we need like a demarcated ring.
No,
like everything
it has to be ghetto because you do not make a list
and by the way, I should warn you, I've been working out past month, like also
small jogging.
This guy is reduced it down to jogging, but I've been working
because you jog from here to
I have sorted out my stuff.
He only runs when he sees ladies walking by. He has to show them that he's keeping up the pace.
You know what happened? Like when I was still at campus and I had come from a party like late at night at 3 a.m. 2 niggas jumped me and they beat me. They took my first smartphone I ever owned. So ever since then, I've been trying to resolve my issues till I was like, no, let me work out
and jump niggas.
So mine's insane. Your first smartphone about his 3310.
Back to this thing. Like, here's the thing. This list was written at a time what those people were doing at that particular time. So if I asked you right now in 2014 what had Ben Black done, what would you tell?
But you see, let's not forget that in the list, he puts his disclaimer where he says this is on lyrical ability, consistency, quality, originality, packaging, complete projects, and ability to be a bigger brand at the time.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, if we are to objectively look at Benny from then.
Benny in 2014.
Yeah.
And remember right now, I would like to. I think, me personally, right now, I think you are trying to compare Benny Black to a Blizzard. This is someone who has rebranded.
He has rebranded, yes, but he's still the same dude.
He's still the same dude, but he has rebranded. But we're talking about that guy in 2014.
Yeah, but yes, so the Benny Black of 2014, let's be honest.
And also, we need to put your personal feelings aside.
Let the man say.
It's not because I went to school with him. You see, even in school when we used to do freestyle rap and all of that, the rest of us were doing what we normally do. I mean, I was a big fan of Bow Wow. I'm seeing him talking about women and chains and Bentleys. That's what I freestyled about because it's what I saw. Benny was the guy that actually made us start thinking about what we freestyle about. So he was the kind of dude who would come and line for line, punchlines, they're clever. If you're in the dining hall, he's going to rhyme about Posho, about beans, about that girl he likes, about the shoes you're wearing, about your red t-shirt. So he changed the game for us because we realized if I'm freestyling with them, like, oh yes, I drive a Bentley, you came in a Toyota, oh, guys will go wild, but do I have a Bentley? No. But Benny made us realize but he made us actually think about the kind of lyrics we're putting out even for freestyle.
Made you want to level up.
Exactly.
Level up.
So you see, even when we even when we got out of school and Benny started doing underground hip hop with with Jetty in Bukoto, Benny still. I still have some of that old stuff, and oh my god, like you'd feel like this guy actually puts thought into what he writes. So for you to write a list, and like what is that?
Here's the thing. Whatever you're arguing is this. Benny is a dope rapper. And we are not disputing that. But what was Ben doing in 2014?
2014, I can't quite remember.
So maybe, I guess what we will say is at the end of the day, Felix is talking about what he had put out in terms of
2014,
or what people had access to. Not you with your high school memories, but what the people had access to.
So I have to go to the next name, Fussy.
No, you see, the list, I feel like we should, there's those that are missing in action since. I feel like we should just go straight into who actually.
No, guys, I appreciate that, but now a name like Fussy, like she came and she won female rap of the year. She did her all female hip hop stuff, and she came and she won an award for that collaboration.
She brought it.
So she brought it, right? We can agree on that. We can agree on that, Ian, right?
Yeah, but you see, again, the thing is,
we can agree on that.
True.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, but you see. Also, female rappers here. What do I feel like they give up too soon?
She hasn't given up. Fussy has been dropping joints.
Where are they?
Fussy has been dropping joints. Oh my god! First of all, I can't speak for Fussy. It's just that the past, should I say 2 years, she hasn't dropped anything. But from 2014 all the way to now, she has done.
But you see, what Ian is trying to say is exactly it. From a fan's perspective, I don't know. It's like if I'm a Manchester United fan. I don't care that the team has this going on, this one left, the other one has been hired, this one is doing this. I don't care about that. At the end of the day, the fan just wants the win, right? So what Ian is saying is, if you tell us that this person came and did some things, but you see, maybe for the past 2 years, as a fan, that is a lot. Let me take it away from her. Let me put it into like Rihanna. You see how people are all like how they've stressed that whole. I know Rihanna and you. I understand.
I think Rihanna has a firebox, man. Like I think she has her box. I think is fire. Like it's a fire mix. That's a discussion.
Yeah, he has a different Rihanna box. But at the end of the day, the fans are like, okay, well, we like you, but where's the music?
Even you, when you are DJing on your VLC, your fans, that two guys who are hyping you. They have given up.
Which two hype men?
That guy and Askari. Like at the end of the day, guys want that good.
Yeah.
And if you take it away, let's bring it back to
here's the thing I'm going
Kendrick.
to say. So the fact that Fussy is on this list, so let's combine Fussy and Cleo together, like, because also Cleo is on here, Aggie is on here. So you guys feel like female rappers should do more?
No.
Female rappers shouldn't give up.
They shouldn't give up, but you see, again, we can't honestly blame them for giving up.
That's the thing I was going to say. I want to play devil's advocate. Because Aggie and the Sphinx and what's her name? Nakavito. I don't remember her rap name. They formed a group together and then they were supposed to give us an EP and then they flaked. Also, Aggie independently was supposed to give us an EP. Up to now, Aggie has never given us an EP.
Yes.
She claims the EP even when you meet her, she's EP. And I'm only saying that because Aggie, I know might be listening in and she's my people's and I don't want her to threaten me. So, shout out to Aggie.
But you've been jogging.
Hey, I've been jogging, but I don't support violence. So Aggie, the Sphinx also, I want to say this. The Sphinx played a bigger role beyond rap. The Sphinx used to own hip-hop gatherings. Back then she created a group on Facebook. It used to be called the Hip Hop Family.
Oh yes,
and from that group she actually organized actual gatherings where people could converge, because you would be talking hip-hop with someone online but you don't know how they look like, you don't know who these people are, and then she put in that extra effort and people linked
Brought people together.
Brought people together. That's something. Actually, man, bruh, like
It matters.
We have a few events where hip-hop people gather. So having one from way back then, before all these glamorous things happening, was like an Avio concert. A guy would be in the other corner, and then in between there would be a Chidandari guy who is here to sing. So you wouldn't know how to reach your guy, but before, and man, Charles Navi has given us fire for years, man. And so female rappers, we need to see more from them. That's what you're saying.
But it's the industry again.
The industry.
No, because you see, because you see, for them, the why it's unfortunate for them is right from when they come into the industry, the playing ground is not leveled.
Niggas is fishy. They're trying to do some other business.
Besides that, but also, I mean, if you're a female rapper and you're on a song, the fans are going to judge you the same way they're going to judge the males. Which they should, true. But you see, the moment you don't measure up, remember you're new. The moment you don't measure up, people will count you out.
Let me ask you something. Currently, which female rapper is doing it for you? Ugandan female rapper.
UG's most wanted.
Ugandan female rapper.
UG's most wanted.
What's her name? This is why we shouldn't drink before the podcast. I've forgotten her name. But shout outs to Tushi Polo.
Oh, the one she was on that song with
UG's most wanted.
I've seen Tushi Polo perform at the Baimba Festival. She has
at the awards.
Because I saw her perform at the festival and then I got her to perform at the awards and I was like, I want you to perform these two songs. They weren't released yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I know they're not released, but I want you to perform.
As someone who didn't know and who was seated there, she brought it.
And this is the thing. I'm excited to see what the future.
So when you see, the thing is, again,
that's for Mark. Mark chooses Tushi Polo. You haven't given me a name yet.
I guess what his main complaint is they come and they go.
Yeah. So they come and they go. Cool, but out of those who have gone, give me like a name of someone.
You see what's funny? The one I felt like really hung on and tried to push is Keko.
It's Keko because she was there for long.
Yeah. So for me, when you talk about UG female hip hop, Keko will always stand out.
She has to, because she's the one who stayed.
And I'm sure if you Google UG female rappers, I'm sure the first person is Keko.
Yeah. So until
someone stays like she stays.
Here's the thing. Before we leave that point of UG female rappers, I want to give a shout to Charlie May. Charlie is one of those who have been on the ground. On to the next name, Flex the Pepper.
Flex. I also have issues with Flex.
By the way, I want to say this. You had asked for a fight, but on Flex, if you say any wrong stuff, you're fighting.
No, you see,
Flex is my guy.
Flex is your guy, and you see, Flex again falls in the Benny category for me. These are guys I saw
in school.
Guys I saw do rap battles in the dormitory and in the dining hall.
Which schools did you go to, you guys?
You live there in their dormitories.
How old were you?
Moving
me, I was a young boy, but those guys were there.
Why do you mind missing a prep?
Not missing prep. After class, in the evening, weekend, in the dining hall.
Your parents say, I don't listen to this podcast, so it's okay to tell them you Fox prep.
I passed. Like, bro,
you're supposed to do medicine.
I passed it.
But you see, seeing Flex from back then in the, I would call it a jungle, where guys were out to prove who's better than who, and where if we're freestyling, it's as creative as you can be.
Can I say something? This guy said a jungle. He makes it sound like They were
Like the
in a
school was
ring,
like,
like
you see, back when we were in the bush,
Flex had the 2050 guns.
Yeah. But you see,
in 1986 in school.
it was that actual jungle.
Speaking of the bush, Flex has been shot before. Flex is the only real rapper in this country.
He's the only one who
He's the only real
has
rapper. He has been shot before. He's the only real rapper in this country. Others, you're not real rapper.
Yeah, but he was shot by
Many
Alaska.
men.
It wasn't no street cred, eh? Oh, wow.
Flex has a street cred. Like
But he does. He does.
But on a serious point, though. On a serious point, though.
Yeah, we were huge fans of Rapperholics, and there was a guy called Ntanda and Flex. Oh my God, they were gods. So for me, remembering Flex from back then and seeing him now, I'm like, he has kind of gone soft. Like I know the hardcore Flex, but I understand if you have to go commercial, you have to sort of you have to make the music consumable.
Yeah.
But only that for me, at the back of my mind, I still know how hardcore this guy was and all of that. So seeing him now trying to be commercial, it will always be underwhelming for me because I feel like that, of course, again, the industry has not allowed him to still be that hardcore guy and be successful. He has to conform to the standard of the industry so that he can make some money from it.
Well, if we're talking conforming, for me it's the opposite in the sense that the early Flex that broke out, the one that we first got to hear, the one that you would play for us back then. I mean, I met Flex, I was like, this nigga is cool peoples, but man, I don't want to play those songs. But where he's like every single year, I feel like you can instantly see the growth. It's clear, it's proper. There's songs I want to play for everyone now. There's songs I want to put on this playlist and ship out to that person and let them know that, hey, see this boy, he brings it. Yeah. And for me, that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, we have so many artists that are maybe talented, maybe good, but one, they're not, at the end of the day, how do I say? They don't grow as much. Either they're very stagnant. Yeah. So I'll be very impressed with Flex for the constant growth. But aside from the growth, it's the work ethic. We talked about this at the start, and we know that hip hop as a genre or the hip hop industry in Uganda, it needs a lot of work. Yeah. You need to push. You need to be hungry. You need to be about it. And Flex is about it. That guy chases his things. They're not just showing up for just landing in his laps and they're there and there. He can bring it if he wants. That guy puts in the work, and for me, that is it.
You see, for me, having Flex in this name, I would say it has aged well. Because I believe Flex has developed a dope brand. That's Rapperholics.
Yeah.
2, the music has been getting better and better and better.
Yes, sir.
3, if let's say we're honest about if let's say Flex was willing to share about his writing credits, people will be surprised how much music he has contributed to that we have listen to on radios, that we listen to on TV. And this is music even outside Ugandan hip hop. But that's for him to speak on, not for me to speak on. Then lastly, Flex is the brains behind the Hip Hop Festival. That's a huge win for the Ugandan hip hop industry. This is something that is going to grow with time, get better with time, and this is something that has come from Flex. The only thing where I'm like, no, Flex, you've lied to us, is the album. It has taken forever to finish the album. So now I've gotten the honorable mentions out of the way. So let's get into the list. So starting from the bottom of the list, like I said, it's good not to start from the bottom. That's the situation. But we have Nemesis.
Oh.
What do you feel about Nemesis?
Nemesis is also another.
And Nemesis has a podcast, by the way. So if you trash us, you trash us on you. If you trash him, you trash us on you.
Yeah, but see, what we're saying here
is his audience.
What we're saying here is the fact. Yeah. So it's not like we're deliberately trashing anybody.
We are not hating you. We are just criticizing your work.
Yeah, because you see, Nemesis was supposed to be great.
True.
He was supposed to be great, but...
Can I say pause for a minute? My partner of the tribe, Mr. Guy Mulanza, approached Nemesis to manage Nemesis. I can't tell you where it went wrong because I don't know. I don't know who slacked, but all I know, they were going to do magic together.
But perhaps...
we can't know till now what, but go ahead.
Yeah, you see, for me, and something like that also, I don't know him personally. I don't know a lot. I don't know his life story or something. Yeah. But the way the music was coming in and not coming in, it felt like this is someone that's supposed to be great, but he's quite lazy.
Don't be good, my nigga, be great. Just Jay-Z. Game for all these years, man.
No,
So I would say Nemesis has a song called Tano. I believe that's one of the most powerful UG pop songs. Maybe we would be open to do a remix, and I would be willing to air and that remix.
no, but personally, it's like, for me, I think my first encounter was, I think it was FNL, basketball. You're there.
When you throw younger to
hey, calm down, please. No, that's not it. It's my story, not yours. But as in, Mans was brought out, you know, you don't know him, you know some of the people that are around, and then it's a pleasant surprise. He brings it, and you're like, okay, yes, here we go. This is it. So then you hear maybe a song here, like a collaboration there, and then that's all you hear. And that's the problem. It's like, at the end of the day, you know, I'm going to try and listen to a certain extent, but what next? What more? Like, what's missing? And that's, I can't say I don't know any better. I wanted more, I didn't get more, and yeah, we move. And that's the problem, we move. UG, we move.
The other thing I would say about Nemesis is this. In 2017, when we did the hip hop awards, after the awards, we were supposed to deliver an official cipher. So we were supposed to record it at Nez Avatar's place. I go to his place, power is off. But as power is off,
shout out to Meme.
Shout out to Meme. They just see sprinkles on their windows and then they shut down everything. So Nemesis comes through. We have a discussion. I tell him what we're trying to do. So he's like, send me the beat. I give him the beat there and then, and he writes there and then. After writing, he's like, by the way, guys, I have a studio. It's in Bokoto. He takes us to his studio. We record immediately his verse. Nez does what Nez does, his magic. And then in the next 10 minutes, we're shooting that 2017 awards cipher. It has Navio, it has Bamboo, it has Yala, it has, what's his name? KSL is another guy I need to give a shout out. I'm in Bukoto and I'm struggling to get equipment. KSL is like the underground godfather of Bukoto.
Yeah.
It's like whatever you need, like even if they steal your phone.
I got you.
I call KSL. KSL delivers an extension for me and it's like, by the way, you guys shooting? I'm like, we're shooting the cipher. He's like, can I hear a beat? He has the beat. He writes immediately. He's like, I want him. And someone who, when you need protection in a hood that you're not from, when someone asks for something, you're like, I got you. KSO jumps on, like those two guys, especially Nemesis, they did a huge job and they delivered. And shout out to KSO, shout out to Nemesis. Nemesis is one of the most brilliant rappers I know, and I like his delivery.
Yes.
Like, even if he's saying trash, his delivery always come out perfectly.
Saying trash.
I haven't said trash because I've never delivered a trash verse.
You have said it.
Otherwise, that guy would have never pushed to manage him. That guy has a good ear. He's a good ear there. But
I should send him my mixtape.
except when he was coming up with songs for his wedding.
Hey.
Can you believe he introduced me with a Jesus song at an emotional? I want you to imagine.
Maybe it was a song cry.
Coming through. No, it was a song cry. It was the Rock Boys in the I want you to imagine coming through on that song.
Hey.
And then you cry through your speech, man. Like, yo.
You cried in your speech.
You know, this is my guy. Like, this is my guy.
Wait, you cried in your speech?
How can a hard guy who has come through on a Jesus song where Jesus is saying, red guns, red pushes.
But hold on, you cried in your speech.
There's no video.
No, we look for the video. Someone must have recorded something.
This is to make the story enticing for the listener on a podcast.
Yeah, but you're capable of crying.
No.
By the time you DJ on VLC.
That's a sad life.
Let me tell you. If you get that video, chances are someone has done auto tune and sounds like.
No, but I think. Hold on, wait.
Hey, wait. Look good, they never fails.
I think during your speech, you saw the DJ with the virtual DJ, and you got emotional. You remember DJing on VLC and Windows Media Player.
This side, I come from a Jay-Z track. The Rock Boys is in the building. I have my suit on.
So you had to make the song cry.
The only thing I didn't have was the diamond cufflinks, and like probably a Mariah Carey next to me. But I was good. Shout out to Theo, the maid of they call them what?
Maid of honor.
Maid of honor, honor of maid. but she came through like
So it's also an honorable mention.
Yo, she was supposed to be like my Beyonce to my Jay-Z in that situation.
Just that you are not Jay-Z, so that
But
failed.
imagine I come through, I'm like Chris Brown and I beat this, I'm crying through my performance.
Man.
Like, yo, bruh. Man, like he did that. Anyway, he did a terrible job by choosing the right songs. But back to the whole thing is that Nemesis is a good guy, and you guys should check him out.
Gravity.
Especially
Does he?
streaming platforms, check out his music. Now, Gravity, what do you guys think?
I feel like the industry kind of has failed to recognize him, yet he has rightfully earned his place to be in his own
bracket.
Yeah, he has rightfully earned his place to be put on a hip hop list and given the respect and the attention he deserves. Yeah, because again, why hip hop struggles, it's because we are a bit rigid when we're unwilling to I don't know, we're not that welcoming. Someone like that who actually, as much as he raps in Luganda, but somebody like that who tries to be as consistent as he does.
Swagazira, you want my swagger? Hey, that has been giving us hits.
Yeah, the industry should give him a seat at the table.
You know, the most interesting thing is that when Gravity was doing his first concert of Tujuze Cricket of, I was called in and we were going to do digital media for him.
I hope you didn't cry.
No, I didn't. Imagine, I'd get. But I was called in to do digital for him, and then we're having a discussion, and the person who had brought us in, who had done the introduction, was like, "Yeah, but these are the guys who do the hip hop awards." And he was like, "Hey, baby, I know what I got kumpa award. Katukoroza wano uveka mpala pake masaka ani asingo chikuba kwabo award mubo wabali bali zino ze nyimba ze mwagala." And then he pulled out his phone and played a song like it's a bit Afrobeatish, but it was slow compared to like
what
Gravity
usually
tempo.
Yeah.
Buno bwe mwagala siba mwagala ata kongenda ka from yamba kaka sete wali ankwatako. And I'm like, hey, echo kirungi na ye, I'm here to discuss ABCD. I was like, hey kale, hey kati ogange video bwagala wa, but the conversation was like that.
Yeah.
But me personally I think is like, do you know how you would have an MC Hammer?
Yeah.
Can't touch this. But you can't compare an MC Hammer to like an Eminem or to like a Jay-Z when it comes to lyrical ability.
True.
But he has commercial success that these other underground rappers would want to have. And all that. So me personally, I salute Gravity for his commercial success.
Yeah, but you see,
Dude just built a house in Buziga. He just shared. He had dude got a Prado in lockdown.
the rest of us are broke.
The rest of us we are selling Kaitesi.
Relax, man. Jesus Christ.
They don't know who Kaitesi is.
Disclaimer, that was a car. It's not like I'm out here selling women.
I think it's slave trade or something. But yeah, it's a car. Guys name their cars, man. And I didn't say who sold, but you are there claiming.
Yeah, like it's a friend's car. It was a friend's car. That had to get sold.
No, but yes,
but he didn't cry when he sold it. So
Yeah, but
no, I mean, yes, you have to commend him on that. I mean, it matters. The industry is not just, you see, you don't just need, again, if we're going to take it away from UG, you don't just need your Jay-Z's and your Nas. At the end of the day, you need your Nelly and you need that ETC, because that's what completes the whole, the whole spectrum. It's not just one-dimensional. So yes, you do need that extra piece. In terms of the ETC that he also brings beyond the music, that one I'm a bit like Mourinho, and I prefer not to speak. But still within the list, since you said we start from down the thingy, there's Patrol Bus.
the destiny
it's a Patrol Bus in it.
From the 256 in it.
But,
hey, bro, I'm from the 256.
Like, again, if we're looking between 2014 and now, and in terms of what we have access to, I'm not going to speak from. There's absolutely. There's a feature on the Myth's Destination Africa album.
Boss Moves.
Yeah, he has a Boss Moves with the Myth Rionga Patrol Bus.
Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
Africa,
that's pretty dope. It's a dope song, dope verse. Especially, I'll say, as a fan listening to the song, the way they bring him into the song, it's dope.
Yeah.
It's dope. It fits in nice. So yes, I guess it's still nice with it. He still does what he does, but if I don't have access, it doesn't matter.
One thing I can say is that Patrobas became a dad. This is a dad in the UK, so things might be different.
Kongs though.
Yeah.
Another one.
Here we have Dead Beats, man.
Yeah, we do.
Wow.
Tibagas and Kamobama, man. Play one.
Aha.
Play.
Now we're getting into it. This is where the money is.
Play is still quite relevant.
And very good.
And I think Play has Play has understood how to work the industry in terms of how to give them music they will actually consume, but at the same time they will still
Be a rapper.
Yes, because when you look at there's that song, it's called Holiday.
I'm on holiday.
Where MC Katz is the guy on the hook. But you see, with songs like that, then he has this other new song. What's the title? Osaga. Why we shouldn't drink before this thing? So
we drank.
you saw, soda. So you see, Play has understood the industry to a point where he can actually still release music that we can consume, but still be labeled a rapper. So he has learned the in between of how to make the thing work.
First of all, UG's Most Wanted.
The man came through fire. Fire upon fire.
Yeah. And
I would even take you back all the way to Vuga Kampala.
Let me know. That's really dope and all, but this one, see, that one was within.
What did this on UG's Most Wanted?
You see, in Vuga Kampala, it was more like.
Can we play it on the speaker?
In Vuga Kampala, this is more like.
There was a 2016 bar.
Yeah.
In Vuga Kampala, yeah.
In Vuga Kampala, it was more of what I expect from Flex, from Play. And at the end of the day,
okay, I know I said we play. Okay,
no, at the end of the day, it's what I expected. So I was not surprised. It was dope, but yeah, it was just normal. But with this one, especially having started, Tushi Polo gave us what she did. Tucker came through with that verse and flames. Then Jay Watts, and I said that we need the Nellies and and I like that Jay Watts.
Yes,
let me just shout him out real quick and be like, as someone, I don't know him at all, but one thing I'll be happy about is he understands his lane and he tries to bring it with it, and that for me, that's something I'll always respect. I understand someone knows that this is my sound, this is what I want. Let me do that.
Yeah,
and I feel like he does that, so I enjoy that. So after these guys have done that, and then Play comes through with that verse. Good Lord, Jesus.
Fire.
Can you guys give me a line from Play's verse that stuck out for you?
All of them. And you see, the thing about it is not just lines. It's everything. It's full on. You've mentioned it. You talked about lyrical ability. You've talked about delivery.
Delivery.
The flow and the delivery. All of it. Like, he's given us a total package of a verse, and also it's dynamic in a sense that there are those verses that start. And then somewhere you reach, and then your things are just itching. You're like, what's next? But this verse, it evolves throughout, and that's pretty dope. That's not all I have to say about Play. I know I've mentioned that verse. I like what Ian has said with regard to understanding how to blend, especially for the industry that we have. You can't just be I'm a hardcore rapper, so I'm gonna be on that hardcore shit.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, where if I had to say, let me not just be a typical yes man like the rest of us. If I had to say something though, is all these years that I've known Play or that I've listened to him, I feel like when I say there's something missing, I don't mean in terms of the talent. I mean in terms of grabbing hold of it and owning it and saying, let me hit y'all with this. Let me fire you guys with this. Let me give you this. Yeah. I don't know what it is. We talked about brand earlier with Flex. Yeah. And like I feel like I know what Flex is aiming for. Yeah. I've seen it. We all know what the idea is behind his brand. And I feel like that's maybe the thing that's missing with Play, me understanding what he's about and me getting that consistently. Yeah. But other than that,
can I speak to that? Mm-hmm. The reason that's why I feel like guys don't understand what the brand Play is about is because Play is multi-talented,
which is good.
Play will rap, Play will produce, Play will record himself as a sound engineer, Play will shoot himself, not shoot with a gun, but shoot himself in the music video. I know that Play will edit that video. Like, here's the thing. Me, I've come to appreciate Play, especially he gave us some projects recorded way back in German. Yeah. It is called Throwback Something. It's on our audio mark. The Tribe UG audio mark. You can check it out. And you can listen to Play's journey. And one thing I can appreciate about Play right now is that Play right now has become an artist. He has evolved as an artist. He can create songs. He has given us Bulichiro. He has given us, and it's the beauty about, and it's the beauty about Bulichiro, or the beauty about Play is that he has that ear of hearing someone they have never heard of. Be like, this guy would do perfectly on this song, and that's how a lot of people were introduced to J Watts, because he got J Watts on, and then people were like, oh, this is a dope guy, let me go listen to his earlier projects. But
do you feel like Play's music is bigger than him?
Personally, I would say that's a tricky question. I would say this. Play just needs a good budget to shoot videos for all his music. Because they gave us Bulichiro, and then there's another song they gave us, another song after Bulichiro, J Watts and Play. There's another song, I've forgotten its title. And we're in the car driving, and I played that song, and one of the people was with the girls, especially.
Oh yes,
I won't give Play
for the ladies.
It was a ladies kind of song.
No, it was a party vibe song.
Yeah, but it had.
Who is this?
What was that?
And it goes back to what Mark said. How come I've never heard of them? And they're like, in fact, we are mad at the artists because we don't know them. I had to record a video of the chick being mad at Play and send it to them like, yo, they're mad at you because they don't know who you are. But
that's the thing I'm saying. His music is bigger than him.
But then. Oh wow, but then also I would love to say this. Shout outs to Play. Play has stuck it out with Skyline Media from the word go when we were acquiring content from rappers, and we are still acquiring his content, we are still licensing his content. Just to Play for the business side of things.
Yeah, but on top of still on that argument of his music being bigger than him, I've found people that know his music, but they don't know who sang it.
It's like what's his name? Press Steve and Said Zeno. People don't say
they don't know who the artist is.
They don't even think he's a hip hop.
Yeah, and it goes back to the branding thing you were talking about. Because
let me ask you guys, if let's say we had a hip hop TV in UG, would it do a difference in what's going on right now, especially with the media? Oh, that's a conversation.
Well, it is a conversation for another day, but at the end of the day, sometimes what is missing is the actual exposure.
Yeah.
So if people do not know, then they won't know. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to guess that this is this. I need it to be delivered to me. But that's
in case there's a media guy listening to this podcast,
bring it.
Shout out for your support first of all. Because every time I pick up a phone call and I'm like, we're trying to book this rapper, you always come through, especially Urban TV. They had Smash on Urban, they have Double Trouble now, and they have always given hip hop a big priority. But all in all, shouts for your support. But then also book more guys, man. Book more hip hop guys.
Yeah, book more guys and Smash on Urban.
But that's why SNMS is fire.
Like Smash on Urban.
Wow.
Wait, is that the actual name of the show?
Do you think that's like left?
Yo, come on, man. No, I'm just shocked. Like that's the name of the show.
It was the name of the show.
Then, oh yes, just then it makes.
By Kyle and then hosted by. Yo, man, shout out to Kyle. Kyle, like, gave me my first TV interview, man. Shout out to Kyle. Like, yeah. The guys who do, media guys, let them have more hip hop guys, and also the guys who book performances. Let them have 2 or 3.
Yeah, but for performances, I feel like also the artists themselves need to learn how to perform. You see, hip hop in general is a bit. Unless you're a hardcore fan, it's hard to perform. So you have to be a little bit creative. And most times when you look at how artists that try to put a bit of art in their performances, you actually keep the audience entertained. But if it's just you shouting, then you point the mic in the crowd that doesn't know the song.
Put your hands up.
It becomes you get frustrated. You leave the stage feeling like, oh, these guys don't appreciate me, but the performance was just you. There was not much to.
Speaking of people who've performed, next on the list is Iwan Benezeri.
Oh, Benezeri was good. Benezeri was good. He was just unfortunate. It was I will always feel like the industry wasn't ready for his energy.
Ian says, and I'll just quote, he says the industry wasn't ready for someone who works as hard
as he did.
I don't really think that's exactly true.
Yeah, true.
No, you see, because I said
he's hardworking.
But did he work as hard? Does he work as hard as Benezeri did?
I would say he works. You see, apart from working
Benezeri
hard,
did about 3 or 2 albums.
Apart from working hard, you also have to work smart.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Though,
Nav.
Nav
I mean,
is
we're
one of
looking
those
hard.
people, hard, smart. That's the same thing.
And
Let me
rich.
tell you something.
I cannot speak to what he might have taken on or not. All I know is if we're sticking to what our initial line of thought was, it's so if he was pointed out as next in line in 2014, or as the guys are going to own the industry moving forward. I guess it's pretty unfortunate that a couple of years later there was already a retirement plan. Not necessarily unfortunate, but I'm saying if you're going to own the next in line, you have to understand that the original, since as your article says, the people that were there from before, whether it's GNL who's still doing it, or whether it's Navio and Myth who both have albums last year alone. You understand? If these are the people that were before, then you'd expect the next in line to also be delivering. But if we're looking at the next in line, almost everyone we've mentioned, or many of the people we've mentioned, are not really doing anything.
You see, speaking to that, I would say this. I'm happy with the position Benezeri is in right now. The reason why I'm saying that is that Benezeri has evolved. From being a rapper, he ventured into events. The first Bantu Vibes event that was at Nigeria Gardens, he was part of it.
Fire.
Like, and the turnout was great. Though from my discussions with him, it didn't go according to his plan, so he had to step away from the whole thing. But even when he stepped away, he has gone on set up the Clan Company.
Yes.
Bruh, by the way, speaking of the Clan Company, do you remember the Clan? Benezeri?
Yes.
And these songs that came
Yes.
Anyway, there's a different podcast for these songs in UG. But moving on. So he set up the Clan Company, and the Clan Company is more of like I would say a tribe, but it's not a tribe. It's more of like covering what's happening in the urban space of UG. I might be wrong, Benzo, you can correct us on this. And we'd love to host him in future on this podcast also. And he has evolved into this media mogul. And to me, when he retired, the first thing I told my partner is like, because after retiring, he wrote
your business partner, or
he wrote a piece and he wanted us to host it on the tribe. And when we're discussing it, me and Aga, after reading it, I told him, Benezeri has a bigger role to play now in the industry. He can be, for lack of a better example, let me use Elliot Wilson. He's like one of the guys at Rap Radar, the guys who found the Rap Radar.
Yeah, because
like,
you see,
guys.
it's because
so
he was in the industry.
Yeah,
and he
so
saw
to
the
me,
issues with it.
Benezeri is that guy. Like, I may not be happy that he retired, but then also I'm happy that he has evolved into what he is today.
You see, okay, at the end of the day, yes, we're going to be happy for whatever contribution guys are going to bring to the growth of the industry from back then all the way into now. But then the thing is, at the end of the day, there are certain things, yes, we're happy for the growth, we're happy for the extra contributions, but again, if I'm talking at the simple level of a random listener who just tunes in to listen to some beats and some raps, I don't know all this.
Slacking.
Not necessarily slacking. It's just there could be
not
more.
fair judgment.
Like I could listen to other things. Like at the end of the day, I want music.
Yeah.
Well, these are like people seated there, and let's say let me take it away, because again, sometimes people feel like it's an attack when you talk about them.
Yeah.
But let's say if I take it away and bring it to like, let me think of an American artist. Let's say Twista. He was in that type of lane where it's just Twista. He's the one doing that fast rapping thing, and he has songs here and there. We like them, and then what's happening? We don't know. It's not that you're doing music that's necessarily failing. It's that you're not really doing anything. We don't know. So I'm not going to go and look into. Yes, I do agree that we should know more.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily have to go and look into it. So that is where I'll find there's a missing piece. But shout out to Benezeri for continuing to continue to stay in touch with the industry. I mean, again, we talked about the Myths album last year. He does feature. Exactly. So he does make a technical appearance, and he reminds,
Let me ask you
guys,
guys,
I'm here. And
when
that's
you read
dope.
his open letter of him retiring, what was your first thought?
Well, for me, first, I thought it was too soon.
This is 2017. He retired April 2017.
I thought it was too soon.
Right, if you had put it on April 1st, like
Fool's Day.
But April 1st, the man waited for extra 3 days.
Like, you won't get this wrong. Yeah, it was too soon, and also it came from reading it. Then I did not feel reading it. First of all, I didn't believe he was retiring because he seemed to be his career seemed to be
He
picking
had
up.
just been doing stuff.
Yeah,
He had a lot going on.
Yeah, so I felt like he's just doing what American rappers do. I've retired, I'm done with
then
this.
you
come back and give us
Which
an
he
album.
actually points out in the thing, like maybe one day I'll do a Jay-Z and come back.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, all these years later, and looking at how he actually retired, it's quite unfortunate. Reading it then, I didn't believe it. I didn't take it that serious. I'm like, you've just been here a few years, you're retiring. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. It seemed like that then, but all these years, I'm like, it was really a tough decision for him to make, but understanding the industry now, I see where he was coming from, and I honestly don't blame him.
But me, with regard to why Ian has said, well, when Ian says it's unfortunate, for me, the main unfortunate thing is not necessarily, like, it's not even about his music, it's about the fact that we've all said, or everyone knows he worked hard, and sometimes we feel that a lot of artists don't put in the work. That's a common opinion. Guys be like, man, some guys are not, they're not doing as much as they should or could to push their brands or to do better or to get out there. So one thing that was really dope about him is he worked, he really worked hard, and it would be, maybe he would have inspired many young, because again, that's maybe something for another day. But there are many guys that are entitled. So it was good to see a guy who was pushing it.
Yeah.
By the way, Les, you were supposed to be here today, but anyway.
I would have loved Leslie's perspective on this.
Yeah, but we will love you too. Anyway, prayers. We hope to have you next time. So let me ask you this: would you be happy if Benezeri came back at some point?
No, I wouldn't.
That's not a problem.
You know why? Because the same frustrations he had then that he may not have mentioned, but what I think, what we can universally agree are the issues with the industry are still there.
The main frustrations I picked up on were more of sponsorship for his events and things like that.
Oh yeah, he did talk about that very heavily. He really did.
Me, that's the main thing I picked up on, because from a guy who has done events, who has looked for sponsorship, before then in 2014, I was like, my guy, you are entitled. But for a guy who has been through the process, I'm like, yeah, Benezeri, you know what? You were singing in the future.
Yeah, but you see now, if he's whatever he's doing, I hope he's very successful. If he came back with the bags to fund something that's going to stand the test of time, it would be would gladly welcome him back.
And I would salute Benezeri.
The problem with returns though is it's one of those things where we be like it's like these movies that they remake. And you bring back a dead franchise and you try to don't talk about Felix's Transformers. It's great to fight.
But the one for Mark Wahlberg,
Transformers 1 to 3, you can't talk shit about it.
Yeah, but the one for Mark Wahlberg,
that's trash.
No, but the thing, at the end of the day, when they bring back these franchises, it's either it's super epic and we allow that you've brought us back. But
which franchise did they bring back and you like?
If it's just
Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
At the end of the day, that doesn't matter. If it's just enough is not enough. We want more. If you bring it back, either make it bigger or don't bring it back.
But man, that's a lot of Benezeri, man. Like, he put on a brave face where no new school rappers was doing events.
Yeah, nobody has reached where he reached.
And he did it on a high level, on a high level. So shout out to Benezeri, man. Like, you always have that when it comes to history. The history books, you always have that in his.
And then now he has that Wagama.
By the way, do you know, guys, before Benezeri, we skipped Seneli Said and Bana Mutibwa.
Seneli Said.
Yeah, what do we feel about Seneli Said? 2 albums in. We are not considering his stuff from. Okay, here we consider this stuff from the Luga Flow Army. Luga Flow Army had him, had Bana Mutibwa, had Fasi, had what's this guy dude's name who has ventured into TV and has pushed hard for hip hop. Forever MC.
Forever
MC. Like it had it's called Sino MC.
Yeah.
Sino MC. So his work at Luga Flow Army. But then also Bana Mutibwa was the president of End of the Week Uganda, and he was handing over to Seneli Said. That's why we had them together in this list, Seneli Said and Bana Mutibwa. And me personally, I feel like Bana Mutibwa might have slacked because he's in Germany or wherever he is. I might be wrong, it's not Germany, but Europe somewhere. He has managed to put out conscious freestyles, like addressing the situations in UG and all that.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, Seneli Said has managed to give us the albums. and also give us a couple of singles, a couple of dope features here on the Cypher, there and there. And then also his role as the president of End of the Week, where we've seen End of the Week Uganda go to the finals globally, take Ugandan guys from here in UG, take them in Europe to compete globally in the global stage. Like in a way they have groomed the rap battle scene in UG through their End of the Week. And I feel like that shouldn't be neglected. And then also he had a song, I think it's called Tutanike, with Myth and Aggie on his album. I think that's one of the dopest joints, and it should have a video.
Yeah, well, for me, for Sentinel side, it's I don't know, it's just one of those guys that when he's on the scene, you remember that he's really, really good. When he's not on the scene, unless you land on his content, it's hard. It's like his accessibility. It's like his 2020 wrap up. You listen to it and you're like, this dude is actually really good. Then that prompts you to go and look up some of his old stuff. But for when he's not on the scene, he's really good, but the accessibility makes you forget about him and focus on guys that make more noise in the industry. But he's then and now, I feel like he has he's still the same dude. When he brings it, he brings it. When he doesn't bring it, there's silence.
Do you think when it comes to his projects, his songs, do you think like there is a difference? Like when you listen to his stuff on the translation and then this new album?
Unfortunately, I don't know him that well from back then. So I would not make a very informed comparison.
Well, for me, it's very, how do I say? He's, one of those people where from the first time you listen to him, you're like, it's pretty dope. Then you see a live performance here and there, like, he's still pretty dope. And you see him at wherever you find him, whether it's hip hop awards, performance, whatever it is, you see him and like, he's pretty dope. And again, Ian, same conversation about the wrap up. Again, you hear that, you listen all the way, pretty dope. Same conversation in the group we're having, a WhatsApp situation before people started saying they're going to migrate to Signal and Telegram. Still, same conversation. Everyone's like, pretty dope. But one thing that Ian has mentioned that I hadn't put it like that. I hadn't thought of it like that. But yes, unfortunately, maybe it's one of those things where when you're hearing him, you're like, yes, this is nice. It's nice. But then unfortunately, there's let me say quite a bit of silence here and there. So
it's unforgettable. It's forgettable.
No, well, the presence is not always felt. Yeah. When it's there, it's like, oh yes, and then when it's not, you're like, when you hear it again, you're like, oh yes, how come I haven't heard him since?
Yeah.
You understand? So it's not forgettable per se. They're just those moments of silence. That said, I also feel like over the years, I've gotten the same guy for like the past few years. I've not had so much of a difference from the Sentinel said I had the first time.
I get you.
And the one of a few. It's still as good. It's still pretty dope. Pretty dope. Fire. But it's just about it.
Yeah. So let's move forward. Taka HD. I think all of you guys should be happy about this.
We've discussed Taka as we talked about Benny, but Taka is the most annoying, most talented rapper we have.
When you say annoying, what do you mean?
He does not give you the content. Taka is that chick you're trying to holler at. She'll tease you, disappear. Like, yo, what up? Man, is it a yes or no?
Stop teasing Ian. Give him if I'm giving him. You guys, give him. Hey, yo. Sorry, Ian is mad.
No, I'm just using that comparison to make you understand how frustrating it is to be a Taka fan. He'll give you one jam and you'll be like, oh my God, Taka, you're still in the hype. Then he'll go silent for like 4 months, but you still go back and listen to it. You're like, yeah, the song is dope, but we want more. Like we can't keep the old stuff is not, it's not a lot to hold us, but it's good music. But we want you to just be a Drake, just keep pumping out music. You're Taka, you're good, you're easily the best. So like, I don't know, like just give us music. I love Taka. I love Taka's music so much, but I don't like the fact that I cannot choose to be like this whole weekend, or it can be the entire weekend, but like this whole weekend I'm on some Taka stuff. By midday Saturday you're done. Yeah, so like he's easily the best we have, but we need music. Like you need to make it.
This is what I would say.
Yeah.
Taka gave us Ban.
Oh yes.
Taka gave us Calm Before the Storm. Taka gave us Redefinitions. I don't care about anything else. But I was always salute Taka for those.
But that's not enough.
Personally,
I know for now.
you see, if I had been involved in making this list back then, you would not have convinced me to put. I would have put Taka's name, then I would have put Mob Space before the next person.
Like 49
like Taka is.
You know when God says. Scott said 25 rappers.
I'm not entering that conversation. One situation at a time. No, but yes, like.
Wait, wasn't that Benny who said I can name 20?
Yeah, I can name Benny and Taka Samson.
What do you mean Tuesday?
Monday, Tuesday.
They believe in the same scripture.
Yeah, but
one was Monday, the other was Tuesday. The scripture was
back
the
to
same.
back.
Black Monday.
Back to back.
But that's
imagine when you call you in this battle, you call yourself Drake and niggas give you back to back. Like, they give me gosh, man. If you think about it, guys were thoughtful about this whole situation. It wasn't about the songs only. It wasn't about the rollout plan. Like, anyway, Mark, you're saying something.
Taka is easily, if we're talking, again, if anytime you bring for me a who's next type of conversation, it would always have to be him. But where I will agree with Ian, and this is something I've said to Taka myself, I've stressed him. Like, I'm that noise maker that's always like, man, album, like, what do you do? That's why, that's it. Like, I know that we've asked over the years, we've made noise, we want projects, we want this. Not these mixtapes of songs that we can't really share because, it's this beat from this song and this remix of this. Yeah. No, these ones over, this is Taka music.
Yeah.
What I will say though is 2020, COVID aside, man's put in work. Because the year started right from the jump. He was releasing music from Jan. Yeah. He had like 2-3 songs in Jan. Yeah. Feb is there winning awards. Yeah, you understand? Like, and he's like, we go. COVID happens, it's like, hey, rapping on the lake. Let's go. He kept it coming. Of course, he gave us open time within that same space. So again, here we have, the project. We wanted a project, so here we go. I mean, it's not that it's the first. I mean, we had Vroom just before we had. Yeah. No, it's not about that, but it's just that here we go. He's on a roll. So personally, I can't complain. Of course, I would have liked this earlier. If we're looking at 2014 to now, yes, this has come a bit later in the in that time frame. It's a later part of the thing, but still, I'm not going to complain. That said, it's one of those things. We still want more. These things. Like, we're not getting we wanted. Now we want more. Like, so, hey, Taka man, the music, bring it, apply it.
So lastly, we have Timothy Code.
Do you know I landed on a 2016 interview?
Yeah.
You did with So Severe.
Yeah.
Where you kind of really unleashed on what led to that confrontation between Taka, Benny, and Code. And for me, you see, I feel like one thing I liked about Code then, you know how you have a fire, it's burning out, is that guy that puts like firewood. So because that week we were all on fire, like, oh my God, he said this, and then Benny responded, then Taka has responded, and given his track record as well, he has really honestly tried to stay relevant. But again, the industry frustrates him, so he has to move to TV, then move to radio.
I didn't think anyway.
I don't.
Yeah. But you see, in terms of if the industry had been more sustainable, as much as he had dreams of TV and radio, but I feel like he'd still have more presence in music as well. But he has gotten to a point where he tried to even localize the music, went to Kawale, did a music video, and had traditional dancers in it, and tried to pay homage to his to the industry and try to keep the music as local as possible, but that music was not as consumed as it should have been, and that's what always prompts these guys to venture into other ways of staying a voice in the industry but being a bit inactive from the actual music and all of that. But for me, for Code, I feel like it's a job well done since 2014. He has managed to stay relevant and still be a voice in the industry, hosting events and all of that, and trying to keep.
I mean,
what is going on, man?
I mean, for me, if we're talking, one of the things, like we said, one of the criteria for the list was brand. And if we're looking at this full list that we've said, in terms of brand presence, not just, I'm sure, like, I mean, there are those that have, a brand that's worthy, a brand that we've heard and we've had access to, but for me, in the honorable mentions, there was Flex, and that's a guy that has pushed his brand.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any bigger brand than Code in this list, and that is where he has done his part. Like in terms of pushing his brand as whoever, as who Code is, that media personality, that person that is in the industry and represents it at so many levels, whether it's music, TV, radio, whatever it is, he's been consistent in that. He's pushed that aspect and he's grown in it. And for that, you can't fault him. Man's is fire on that front. In terms of the music, yes, I looked back and I was like, wait, this guy has some fire tunes that I didn't know. Like, to be honest, the song with A-Pass, I know this article is 2014 and the song is already mentioned then. I heard this like, I don't know, a bit more recently. like last year, and it was still fire. I listened to it again the other day and I was, wait, this song is still fire. How is this song, like, I know that I heard it recently. I know there's so many people that do not know it. That's a fire tune. And it's not the only one, like, it's not that type of situation. And then let me go back, like, of course, one of the things that we have to give him credit for, because at the end of the day, I know that people don't necessarily, you might rate him as a good artist, and some people might not rate him as that big rapper or whatever. But one thing that the Vuka Cypher did for him is him being put alongside these other rappers. Guys were so happy for him or very impressed by him coming through and giving one of the better verses of the project, and that was really dope as well. That is him showing that, hey, I can hold my own here. I can give you that type of hit that I gave you with A-Pass. I can do what Ian has, the Cheetah song where it's like, hey, listen, I can do this other vibe and bring it back, pay homage to the peoples, my people, where I'm from, so. Brand, I'll give him that. These track problems aside, let's leave.
I think I'm inclined to agree with Mark. Like, Mark has said everything I would have said. Like, he has evolved into a better brand. He beat like 100 other contestants when it came to the Mr. Easy Empower contestant and became one of the winners. He has moved from urban TV all the way to Sanyu, and he's still doing the
and his Sanyu show is fire.
And here's the thing about
that's traffic.
Here's the thing about
with Jalo.
Every media house he goes to, he still has the love for hip hop. Like, he always hosts hip hop guys when other guys are chasing them, or even if the media house is not a hip hop house. Like, when it comes to Code, I'm a bit biased because I've worked with Code even on things away from music. So, bruh, salute to Code, man. Like,
he's about to cry, like, in that.
But here's the thing I'm going to ask you guys. We are through the list. So, do you think this list aged well?
In terms of
the people on the list,
in terms of those, especially in the, let me call it the main category.
Guys. It's only Nemesis who didn't come through.
But I feel like the rest. But see, you put him with at least Nellis is still. I mean, we're talking 2020 wrap up. Tucker, of course. I mean, there was another song the other day. Play. I mean, Osaka. If you don't put him there, it's a joke, man. Code, like, so all of them have stayed maybe relevant, but maybe
in the music space. But
so maybe that's what's missing. Being the who's next, because again, we're talking about it, and the who's next have not necessarily surpassed, but.
It's still the same. That list would still be the same today.
I could still make
except for Benny would be somewhere at the top.
But it'd still be who's next.
Flex would be at the top.
Some guys would claim
so the only issue with the list is, unfortunately for us as fans, it's that in 2014, this was who's next. And if we're making a who's next of 2021, they are still the who's next. That's where it's like,
Imagine still being who's next after 7 years. The industry side. Anyway, thanks for your thoughts on this thing. So there is this thing we plan on doing on the podcast where we pull out lyrics from different rappers. Just to get your thoughts on them. And when I say get your thoughts on them, I mean the people on the podcast. And then after we can bounce it to you, the people who are listening in, you can tweet us, you can comment, you can hit us up on Facebook and let us know if the people on the podcast gave a wrong review or gave a wrong rating to these lyrics. So today, whom do we have?
Since we are in the month of February, I mean tomorrow is the day of
Oh
love.
yes, tomorrow is
Of love.
Valentine.
Hold on, pause. What are you doing for your wife?
What
What I'm doing for my wife
It
tomorrow.
may be a surprise. You
It's
want
a
the man to say,
surprise.
Maybe a surprise.
It's-
But she's not listening to this podcast tomorrow. So
She won't listen to it tomorrow, but
does she even like hip hop? She may not even know you are. Maybe if she supports you, but she may not be supporting you.
my wife, I don't think she has listened to my music. This is music.
That's why you're still married.
how
This
do
is
you- how do
music
you
from
make-
6 years.
Let me ask you,
6 years
how do you
ago.
make a home with someone and you're saying you'll be with them for the rest of their lives and you haven't let them listen to you?
That
But
everyone
I think
has
that
dark
is why-
secrets. This is my dark secret.
No, but I think this is why they are still together, because she hasn't listened to that music.
Well played, Ian. Well played. Otherwise, the divorce papers will be
In the spirit of love and
Yeah.
all that, here's one from a more, in quotes, emotional type song by a certain hip hop artist. I'm gonna give you the lyric of the day.
Yes.
Range Rover ya white, G-Wagon ya black, Ferrari ya red,
Yeah.
Lamborghini nga ya yellow,
Screw.
Rolls Royce ya blue,
Ashman.
emblem nga ya silver.
Aye.
But guess what? Hey, I would give it all up just to taste your saliva.
Brother. First of all, I need to start with a married guy. We didn't give up all those whips. Just to taste the saliva of some cop CJ.
First of all, I'm very passionate about cars. Music aside, cars are like my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
But you see, and there's a Rolls Royce here, there's a Ferrari, there's a Lamborghini, there's a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
G-Wagon.
But if you ask me to give these up for you, you're also not serious.
And this is just to test your saliva.
Yeah, like really.
Brother, like we need to get some trash.
Yeah, because honestly,
Let's say you're vibing a chick, like, bruh. Even a chick,
back then.
bruh, when was this song released?
Last year, end of last year.
Imagine
That was
Corona,
it.
in the midst of Corona, you're giving up
I
all
was
those whips.
vibing a chick back then.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Oh,
But just hold on.
back then, before you were married, I
Yeah.
had go.
If I was vibing a chick back then, I'd first of all my lyrics or catch lines. What are they called? Pickup lines.
He has not vibed in a long time. Forgive him. He's married.
My pickup line would not be this lame, really. So all of this, you give up all of this just to test her saliva. How unromantic! If someone walked up to you and said this, if I was a chick, I'd be so pissed. I'd slap you.
No, first of all, me, it's the other way. It's more like before you even get the saliva, I'm tired. Like you start you're like
You're
Range
bragging.
Rover. No, before that you're like Range Rover. You've given me a car.
We are patient with the Range Rover.
Okay, G-Wagon. I'm like, okay, cool. Another
like,
car.
that's a German
so I'm like,
look.
okay,
We need it in our
let's get the
life.
point. No. Ferrari. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, we're still going with this. Okay, cool. Wait. Lamborghini. Okay, cool. We're still going. Yeah, we're still going. Wait. I have another one.
A Rolls
Rolls Royce. I'm
and
like,
it's
bruh.
blue.
Like before you even get to the fact that all like I feel like if you're going to give us all that, by the time you get to what you're actually
Saying.
the actual, let me call it, the final point of this all, it better be worth
It has to be fire.
And all this was for saliva. We've listened to all that list for saliva.
Exactly. That's what I was going to
Oh
say.
my
You're thinking he
God.
was biting Nameless's line of
Sincere.
Saliva.
I wish I could be your saliva.
and you see, Nils delivered it in a beautiful way. Like, you know, in a calm way. Like, Akabe would be like, you know what? This dude, like,
Okay,
you know?
maybe I'm being a bit biased or harsh because if we're going to get down to it, it's, you know what, at the end of the day, it is a very, very, very dope song that this man's delivered.
The original is a
Yes.
dope song.
Yeah, it's such a dope song. So when I see that there's a remix of sorts, I've been listening to the original and I'm like, oh my God, this is so dope. He has a remix coming out for this.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Then I listen, and of course, the first line turns out to be, yo, it was painful. I feel like I don't even remember what. Not okay. I do remember. Unfortunately, no, I don't remember what was
Not
said.
even Top Gear has this mad cast in their intro.
No, like it's like you. I mean, it's so. It's such a. It's from like he said. Like Ian said, it's romantic. It's whatever, and then you're stuck on these colors at cars, and I'm like,
So let's say we are rating this open. And by the way, guys, this is the intro. Like, when we say the intro, like the opening lines,
It's how the song starts.
The first bar. So how would you rate this first bar? Would you give it a gold star or would you throw it in a trash can?
This is trash because you see. No, honestly, look at it because some encouraging this kind of laziness and lack of effort and thoughtfulness is what makes people feel like our music is trash. Yeah. Because you see, if this line coming from the sort of artist it comes from, when you listen to it, it feels like, okay, we've endured all the colors you have or don't have and all their colors, and then you end the line with something. It's not romantic. In a way, it's kind of disgusting. Yeah. Because we get what you're trying to build up to, but had it been more clever, it would have been worth the colors and the cars. But the way it ended, it was really painful.
You cringe like what am I saying to that?
Like, what is this?
Like,
and even if I'd not send this song to my wife, like
the problem is what you say.
And this is coming from Red Gang.
No, the problem is what you
the
say
most romantic dude
might be what you say next might be good. I'm not saying it was. It might be good, but I'm already disturbed and I can't pay attention anymore.
Okay, guys, do you think we should name the artist and the song, or we let guys guess?
Let guys go and listen for themselves.
Yeah, like we could be wrong. So
yeah, I mean,
and take it away.
What was the title of the song?
The original is Nzikiriza by Herbert Sensamba.
Yeah.
A one bad man.
Shout out to Herbert Sensamba. The guy has given us like all our songs he has collaborated on with hip hop guys.
Yes,
he has come through. Fire.
And even on his own, like the man's is fire.
Yeah,
but then of course now here he has a remix. Which is Say Yes.
I'm drinking on your behalf.
Hey, I was going to say Buffalo Ian for Sensamba.
Buffalo.
No, what?
I can Buffalo. This is soda.
Okay. Weekly. No, but at the end of the day, of course, the remix is then Say Yes, GNL.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, a good song is a good song, so you're going to enjoy. Yeah. But it's just that, man, I feel like sometimes we need to press this button. Some guys stop being lazy about it and apply full system from
opening guys. We're going to be every episode. We are going to have like the last segment, one of the last segments where we talk about the lyrics and get things like that. And if you're trash, bruh, you're going to be trash. And here's the thing: we are not attacking your character, like I said once again. We are talking about your work. We are criticizing your work. So if it's trash, it's trash. If it's dope, it's dope. So I think we can close it off here. Hey, by the way, before we close it off, I had a random thought. You guys can tell me when I'm wrong or right. You know, like how we go to Sunday school and they tell us, God created us in His own image.
Yeah.
Bruh, I was there thinking, and I'm like, yo, Jesus was the first socialite.
First socialite.
Must have 12 followers, what?
Yes! Man was moving deep, like, yo. Man was moving mad in the streets. Man was moving mad in the streets. Like, yo, and here's the thing. I'm not blasphemous. I'm just saying it from our perspective. Like, yo, if let's say they hired me to teach Sunday school, like, what do they tell the kids? Like, yo,
to make them understand, to make them.
Right? So this dude was moving 12 niggas deep in the street. Like, you can't touch him. 12 that's already protection. Like, if you go like all white parties here in Kampala, bruh, free invites, come through as long as you're willing to roll with me.
And you know him, like he would be there at that party, just turn some water into wine. So it's coming through with the drinks.
Parties socialists do, they throw open bar.
Yeah.
But bruh, this guy didn't need an open bar. This guy would come to us like, bring what is. I'm not even telling you water. H2O, fuck that. Like, bring what is in his all white robes. Actually, I actually think Jesus did the first all white party. It's just that they don't tell us what the people was wearing. But I believe it was.
But in the movie, he was wearing white.
Range Rover, your white donkey guy.
Gino was onto something, man. But yo, let me tell you, this dude, I'm sure he did the first all white party ever in human history. Just that, like, they can't encourage us in Sunday school. Imagine a P2 kid doing an all white party. Like, they don't want that, so they keep that away from us. So don't that's an all white party. And by the way, the parents were cool with not doing with an all white party. They come to him and they're like, yo, man, liquor is that. Liquor is done. Like, what do you think? Like, wine is done. So yes, dudes, like, what was the most consumed product? You guys are like, wine. Like,
I got you.
spirits, what do I leave that wine? I was like, okay, I got you. Just bring through. What is? Guys, bring water. Boom! Wine. Guy turns water into wine. So he turns water into wine. They hear about him. They're like, you know what? The next party we need this guy. So they call him at another party. Now at that party,
Guys were hungry.
You can't drink on an empty stomach. You can't drink on an empty
have to
stomach.
lay the
guys.
foundation.
You need the foundation. Meet guy vibes. This guy was like, you know what? A couple of weeks ago, I was on the sea. And like I was on the sea, like, like the turbulence. I don't know if there's turbulence on the sea. But just know, back then,